Hi, my name is Lee Markham. I sing tenor with the Heralds of Harmony, a barbershop chorus located in Tampa, Florida. And since we're all under quarantine right now, I thought now would be a great time to chat with some of my fellow heralds, find out how they got involved with barbershop, and why it's great to be a herald. Enjoy!
Dan the man, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Lee. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Dan is one of our leads in the Heralds of Harmony. That's correct.
That is correct.
And were you always a lead?
You know what? I've sung either lead or baritone. Mostly in quartets, I've sung baritone, but with Herald's Chorus, I've always sung lead.
And so now, I obviously you're for those watching. Dan Deignan is one of our, or is our longest running Heralds member, right? And
Well, I can't attest to that, but I did join the Heralds originally in 1983. So,
1983. And is that how you got started with barbershop, or does it go before
oh
that?
no, it goes a long, long way back. I actually got started it with barbershop in college at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Uh, I had sung in the high school choir, and when I got to Miami University, they had a men's glee club, and I went and tried out for the glee club. And Doc Schilling, who was our director at the time, said, "I've got something else I want you to try." And so he sent me over to try out with three other guys who were three quarters of an existing quartet. And the lead had just actually gone to college. It had been a high school quartet, and the lead had gone to college in another location. So they were looking for a lead. They had a name. They were called the Village Squares. So I auditioned and got the part as the lead of the Village Squares Quartet, and that was in 1960 five or six. So that's how long I've actually been singing barbershop is since 1966.
And how long did the Village Square stay together?
We stayed together actually the entire time in college, I think, as I recall. So about 4 years till I left Miami, and I'm pretty sure that's how long we stayed together. We never competed, but we did local shows.
Okay. And then how did you and so it was you discovered Herald's in 83, you said. So what attracted you to the chorus originally?
Well, they were when I moved here for a job. I moved here to take the job as finance director for the city of Clearwater, and I was looking for the best chorus in the area. I had previously sung with the Arlingtones in Arlington Heights, Illinois, and I actually competed with them three times. J.G. Lombardo was our director, and we came in international competition. We came in sixth, seventh, and eighth, unfortunately, in that order. So, and that was Jay's last year with the Arlingtones, and he left and formed a new chorus called Northbrook. But I had sung with them, so I had sung with choruses. I sang with a little chorus in Burlington, Wisconsin, for a little while. Not very long, because I went to one rehearsal, and by the next rehearsal, I was the director. So I quickly realized I didn't want to I didn't want to sing in any chorus that was willing to have me as a director.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick promotion.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
Right. And so you've been with the chorus for a while now. So what similarities have you seen throughout the years, and then what has changed or evolved with the chorus?
Oh, wow. Um, let's see. When I joined, Bill Billings was directing. And when I left the chorus, Tony's dad, Joe DeRosa, was directing. Um, it's just much more professional now. I mean, Tony obviously has an infinite amount of musical knowledge and ability that none of the other directors actually had to that level. All of them had strengths, of course, but none like Tony. So I would say it's much more technically exact now than it was before. Before it was more like gang singing, you might say. And in some sense, I kind of miss that because it's kind of fun gang singing. And but we, as a result of of Tony's technical expertise, we're becoming a much better chorus and raising our competition level, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I was. When you said that, it made me think maybe he obviously saw something in the chorus to kind of take it from that fun, let's
Right.
just gather and sing, to hey, maybe we have something here, and take it to
Right.
more.
This is his second stint directing. I don't know if you knew that or not, but he had actually directed the Heralds previously. I don't know the years exactly. I actually took a long sabbatical in the meantime, in the middle of my stint with the Heralds. I think I've always been a member, but there was a long time in the middle where I did not sing with the chorus. I didn't really have a really good reason, actually. I just took a quote sabbatical, but I've been back for about, I think, 6 years now.
Okay. And so, what is it about being a herald that has you coming back week after week all the time?
It's the singing, actually. One of the things I've figured out over the years, somebody actually told it to me, and then I've figured it out for myself, is that it's impossible to be depressed while you're singing. So
Even during a sad song?
Even during a sad song, it's still impossible to be depressed. And I was struggling a little bit with that. So this is one of my remedies for depression is singing. And every Monday night forces me to get in the car and come sing with people I like and enjoy and have a good time. I used to think that it was only worthwhile when you were actually performing, but then I realized that when you're rehearsing, you're still singing, and it's the same thing. So just get over it and relax and enjoy the rehearsal part, and quit waiting until there's some kind of a performance.
Yeah, definitely. You have to kind of always treat each rehearsal, each time you sing, as if you had an audience, and this was for something.
Yeah, very well
and
said,
we had Tony, obviously I have Tony DeRosa, Roger Ross coached us on a song. I mean, obviously he's been in front of the chorus many times, but then we also had Clay Hine recently. And between the three of them, like you said, it's even if you're singing that sad song, you have to find the ways to smile through it, find those moments, because if we look sad, the audience is not going to have a great time. So
Tony is not real big on sad songs, so I don't think we have a whole lot of them in our repertoire. In fact, I'd have to go through it to see if I could find one. I don't think we have a quote sad song, close quote.
Sure, yeah, and yeah, it's not much fun for
I
the
heard
audience.
one time that he really didn't like songs that were like if somebody left you, and if your girlfriend left you, and your dog left you, and your mother left you, that wasn't up in his wheelhouse for songs to sing. So, and I approve of that. I think most of his songs are uplifting with positive messages, and
Really.
so. But
Yeah, and
you're right. It doesn't make any difference what you're singing. You still have to emote and tell the story, and it's still impossible to be depressed.
yeah, and since you've been in barbershop for so long, besides the Heralds, what changes have you seen with barbershop in general?
Well, obviously, the repertoire has changed significantly since when I first joined. I mean, when I first joined, we were singing the old, what they used to call square barbershop, and I remember the Kibbers. Did you ever hear of the Kibbers? Kibbers. There was a movement called KIB, which stood for Keep It Barbershop.
Oh,
And actually, some of the people in the society, I think of his name, I can't think of it now, were very big behind the Keep It Barbershop movement. And anything other than the songs that were written in the early part of the century with easy melodies and harmonizable tunes were frowned upon. But that's obviously changed, and I think that's fine. I mean, I think barbershop needs to change with the years and with the society also. And so I'm in favor of the quote new barbershop. I think it's great.
yeah, I got involved maybe about 11, 12 years ago, and even then I remember that kind of transition was starting to happen, and groups like OC Times kind of broke through because they were starting to do some of the doo-wop stuff, and barbershop was kind of like, I don't know. But now since then, it's more and more Broadway musicals and more
Exactly.
contemporary songs and stuff too. So
Exactly.
definitely. Well, that's all I got for you today, sir. I really
Well,
appreciate you taking the time.
you didn't ask me about my quartetting experience, and I
Oh, well,
wanted
I
to
do want
tell
to
you
hear about
that.
that.
Yeah, because I have sung in a record number of quartets. I guess they don't keep me very long for whatever reason, but let me just get my quartet list here, and you'll
Oh,
be
you got the
impressed.
list
I
handy. I
think
like that.
I do. Well, I haven't. I had it written down. I needed a list for my application for Harmony University. No, actually for the brigade part of Harmony University. So here's my quartet list, starting with the Village Squares in college in 1966. Then the Vocal Chords, Lexington, Kentucky, 1974. The Country Gentlemen, Burlington, 1978. The Marvelous Music Machine, Arlington, 1980. Gold Rush, Arlington, 1982. The Florida Keys, 1985. This is when I moved to Florida. So all these quartets are Florida quartets. River City School Board, 1992. Bayshore Music Store, 1994. Happenstance, 1996. Renaissance, 2008. Memory Makers, 2010. And most recently, Senior Class in 2019. So
That's
I don't know
right.
if that's a record, but it might be close.
It might be. I'm glad you brought this up because I want to pick your brain a little bit about this. Because most quartets I try to start usually don't make it past the third rehearsal. It just fizzles out. Life gets in the way. So, what keeps a quartet together?
You know what? You have discovered something that I think is a given, is that quartets just don't stay together for very long. And if you'll notice, it's unusual for a gold medal quartet to stick together for a real long time. But it's just you got four different personalities. A lot of time you got four different egos, and you got sometimes four different interpretations of how the song should be sung and interpreted. And I think there's just, when you got four different guys, it's going to be a hard time for very long keeping the quartet together. But my longest quartet was a quartet called Happenstance. Was that on my list? Yeah, it was. Okay, with Ray Scalise, and Ray was kind of our glue. He got the quartet together and kept it together pretty much. And he was kind of like a father figure. And but that was my longest running quartet. We must have sung together for 8 years, I'm guessing.
Oh, wow.
Actually, maybe it tells me this on my list here, if I didn't lose my list. 1996, and my next quartet was 2008. So I'm guessing we were together for 8 years, probably.
Great. Yeah, that is very uncommon. Well, for anybody watching, if you do want to form a quartet, like he said, going into it, make sure you're all on the same page about the direction you want the quartet to go, the style of music that you like.
Well, you have to sing first, though. Make sure you
Well,
have a
of
sound
course.
that everybody is
Make sure you
happy
sound
with.
good.
So
Then if you
that's
decide to be a
first, right?
quartet, yeah.
Well, I don't know about sound good, but sound good enough to satisfy all four members of the quartet.
That's true. That's true. Sounding good never hurts either.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope to see
Thank
you
you.
in person again someday soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if worst comes to worst, that virtual rehearsal next Monday.
We'll keep it going as long as we can.